For women of color, boundaries aren't just personal, they're cultural. Welcome to day 58. I'm Dr. Nicole, and today we're having an important conversation about boundaries for women of color, the unique challenges, cultural pressures, and healing that's needed. This conversation is close to my heart because I've lived it, I've studied it, and I've worked with countless women who struggle with the intersection of cultural expectations and personal well being. If you're a woman of color who feels guilty about saying no, who carries the weight of representing your community or your ethnicity or your race, or who's been taught that your strength means never needing support, this video is for you. We're going to talk about the cultural conditioning that makes boundaries feel impossible and how to honor both your heritage and your healing. Let's start by acknowledging the unique cultural conditioning that many women of color experience around giving and service. Many of us were raised with messages like, we have to work twice as hard to get half as much. You represent all of us, so you can't fail. Strong women handle everything without complaining. Family and community come first, always. Asking for help is a sign of weakness. These messages created survival strategies that were necessary in certain contexts and in certain time periods. They helped our mothers and grandmothers navigate systems that were not designed for their success. But what served as survival then can become self-sacrifice now. The conditioning shows up as feeling responsible for everyone else's success and happiness, believing that your needs are less important than others, carrying the emotional labor for entire families or communities, feeling guilty when you're not constantly giving or serving, thinking that rest or self-care is selfish or indulgent. This isn't about blaming our families or communities. This is about understanding that some of the strength that's here might also be what's keeping us stuck. Women of color face unique stereotypes about strength that make boundaries feel impossible. The strong Black woman stereotype, for example, celebrates resilience and capability, which are beautiful, but demands that strength come without vulnerability. It expects us to handle everything without support. It makes asking for help feel like letting people down. It creates pressure to be superhuman rather than simply human. Similar stereotypes exist across cultures. The self-sacrificing Latina mother who puts everyone before herself, the stoic Asian woman who never shows weakness, the resilient indigenous woman who carries everyone's pain. These stereotypes are both a source of pride and a prison. They're a source of pride because they acknowledge our resilience and capability. They honor the strength of the women who came before us. They recognize our ability to overcome obstacles, but they become a prison when they don't allow space for vulnerability or need. They make us feel guilty for wanting support or care. They force us to choose between being strong and being human. And they make our worth conditional on our ability to handle everything. But the truth is, you can be strong and need support. You can be resilient and require rest. You can honor your heritage and honor your humanity. Many women of color find themselves cast as the reliable one in their families, in their friend groups, and workplaces. You're the one people call when they need something done right. There's a crisis to manage, or someone needs emotional support. There's work that no one else wants to do. They need someone who won't let them down. They call you. Being reliable feels good because it gives you a sense of purpose and value. It makes you feel needed and important. It aligns with cultural values about service and community. It can create opportunities for your advancement, but it becomes problematic when your reliability is taken for granted, when you're expected to say yes to everything, when your own needs are consistently deprioritized. You feel guilty or anxious when you can't be reliable, when your worth becomes tied to your usefulness. The challenge is, how do you maintain your values around service and community while also protecting your energy and well-being? The answer is boundaries that honor both your commitment to others and your commitment to yourself are the key. For women of color, the guilt around boundaries often feels more intense because it's layered with cultural and historical context. The guilt says, my ancestors sacrificed so much. How can I prioritize my comfort? My community is counting on me. I can't let them down. If I don't do it, who will? I'm being selfish when others have it worse. I'm abandoning my culture if I put myself first. This guilt is compounded by survivor's guilt, where you feel guilty about opportunities that others didn't have. It's also amplified by representative pressure, feeling like your actions reflect on the entire community. And also a scarcity mindset, believing that there's not enough success, love, or resources to go around. And one of the key things that impacts this is intergenerational trauma, carrying the unhealed wounds of previous generations. But here's what's important to understand: taking care of yourself doesn't dishonor your ancestors, it actually honors them. Your ancestors sacrificed so that you could have choices. One of those choices is the choice to live with more ease, more joy, and more balance than they were able to have. Your healing doesn't abandon your community, it actually serves your community by modeling what's possible and by ensuring that you have the energy to contribute from overflow rather than emptiness. For women of color, rest is not just self care, it's revolutionary. It's a level of resistance that is going to propel us forward. Rest is resistance against the systems that profit from your exhaustion, the stereotypes that demand your constant strength, the cultures that equate your worth with your productivity, the histories that didn't allow your ancestors to rest. When you rest, you're saying, I am worthy of care and comfort. My well being matters, and I don't have to earn my right to peace. You are saying, I can honor my heritage while also honoring my humanity. Rest for me is not lazy, selfish, or weak. It is revolutionary. I need you to know that rest is how you break the cycles of burnout and exhaustion. It's how you model different possibilities for the next generation. It's how you preserve your energy for what truly matters. It's how you honor the fullness of your humanity. Learning to say no as a woman of color requires extra gentleness, both with others, but also with yourself. Soft honor relationships while protecting boundaries. Instead of, I can't do that, which can feel harsh or final, you can try, that doesn't work for me right now. Instead of, no, I'm too busy, which invites negotiation, you can try, I'm not available for that. Instead of, I don't want to, which might feel selfish, you can try, I need to focus my energy elsewhere. The key is you don't have to justify your no with a list of reasons. Your no can be gentle and still be firm. You need to remember that you can say no with love, you can decline with respect, and you can protect your energy while honoring your relationships. One of the biggest challenges for women of color is figuring out how to maintain strong community connections without erasing themselves in the process. Community without erasure can look like contributing to your community from overflow, not emptiness, supporting others while also accepting support, being generous with your gifts while also protecting your energy, showing up as your authentic self rather than performing or trying to show that you're strong, asking for help when you need it. You absolutely can love your family and have boundaries with them, support your community and prioritize your well being, honor your culture and adapt it to serve your life. You can be strong and vulnerable. You can give and receive gracefully. Remember, the goal isn't to abandon your community, it's to participate in community in a way that nourishes everyone, including yourself. Finally, you have the right to choose peace without having to explain or justify that choice to anyone. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your boundaries, justification for your self care, apologies for your needs, or performance of struggle to prove your worthiness. You can choose to rest without guilt. You can choose to prioritize your mental health without shame, to say no without over explaining, to take care of yourself without permission. You have to know that your peace is not selfish, it is absolutely necessary. Your boundaries are not a betrayal of anyone, they're wisdom. Your healing is not an abandonment, it's a service to yourself and ultimately your community. When women of color embrace healthy boundaries, they break generational cycles of burnout and self sacrifice. They model different possibilities for their children and their communities. They contribute more effectively because they're operating from fullness rather than emptiness. They honor their ancestors by living with freedom and choices that those ancestors fought hard to provide and could only dream of. They create space for other women of color to do the same. And they discover that they can be both culturally connected and personally protected. You do not owe exhaustion to anyone, not your family, not your community, not your ancestors, not your culture. You don't have to burn yourself out to prove your love, loyalty, or your strength. Your ancestors sacrificed so you could have choices. And one of those choices is the choice to live with boundaries, rest, and peace. Make sure you hit subscribe for day 59, where we're talking about healing through micro rest, the small moments of restoration that can transform your well being. Tell me in the comments what's one boundary you need to set to honor both your community and yourself. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm Dr. Nicole.